Raquel Bowman here, and firstly I'd like to say Happy Easter to everyone. I'm bringing you an Easter tutorial today, and the tutorial is to create an Easter frame. So I'll go through the materials I have first, and then I'll speed you up and get creating and voiceover from there. But what I've done on my silhouette, the first thing I've got is my frame. So this was just one that you can pick up at IKEA. And my plan is to take out the insert piece and then use it as an 18 by 24 centimetre frame, which you can see there, or a 7 by 9.5 inch. So what I did on my silhouette is I drew a rectangle in that size so that I knew that it would fit perfectly to cut. And then I also downloaded just an egg shape. You can get, I'm sure, like JPEGs that you can trace or you can purchase in the Silhouette store. So I popped that in the middle and I wanted to center it. So I've cut that out. So this is ready to just layer. So my plan today is I've really been inspired by the fringed look that is on embellishments that you can purchase at the moment. And I was looking on Pinterest for some ideas, and I found this gorgeous sort of wall art that had just the egg cut out, and then behind the egg cut out it had strips of pattern papers. So I've got the gorgeous Fancy Free collection by Paige here, and I love that it's got that sort of, this reminds me of an Easter sort of colour palette really, so, or spring colour palette for you guys. So it's got a lot of sort of pastels, and I like that yellow here, the pinks, and this multicoloured dot for me is very Easter and very on trend in terms of, in Australia, sort of Easter products that you can purchase for decor. So my plan is to layer in strips these pattern papers behind this egg template, but then I've got myself some fringe scissors which I've had in my stash, and to be honest I don't think I've used them yet. So as soon as I saw these scissors I knew that they were a tool that I wanted to have, and actually I lie because I've used them for school. I'm a teacher, so I've used them there, but not in my crafts. So my idea is that some of those strips I will cut a fringe in to create sort of a bit of depth and dimension and a bit of interest to this piece, so it's not just strips of pattern paper and all boring. So my idea is to do that and add some stitching to some of them just for a bit more texture. And then I'm going to place on top of that just this die cut word that I've cut on my silhouette, and it just says Easter. And the font, if you're wondering, is called the Sophia font, and I downloaded this for free. I know you can get it from, I'm not sure if you can still get it, but from the Hungry JPEG, I think it's called. But if you Google Sophia font and then even Google free as well, it should pop up. So my idea is to sort of pop this across, and then I have my tub of gorgeous embellishments. So I thought that maybe I might be able to add, say, buttons, or there might be some ephemera here, but I really don't want the focus to be on the embellishing. So if I do embellish, it will only be simple. And I'm making this to sit on, it's the first year I've actually got an Easter tree, and I have some decorations for that. These colours will match beautifully, and I really just wanted to create something that could go alongside that, as well as a few ornamental bits and pieces that I have for Easter. And it's a nice handmade touch to our house as well. So I'm going to speed you up and get creating and sort of talk you through the process of what I'm doing so that you can have a go at doing this at home. Now the scissors, before I finish, I got these from just a local sort of book clubby, crafty clubby type sale thing. But I know that Martha Stewart has some, and people in the US would probably be able to get them from Michael's and places like that. So that's these here. Then I've also just got my regular scissors. These are an American Crafts DIY shop one, and I love them because they're gold. And I've just got my sticky thumb adhesive, and really apart from these tools and my sewing machine and my silhouette obviously to get my foundation, that's pretty much all that I will need for this project. I'm also going to use foam, so I've got some sticky thumb foam pieces so that I can pop this up off the page, and I think that I'll remove the glass, but I'm not positive yet. I'll see how it turns out. Okay, I'll speed you up. Okay, so I'm starting by removing the inner part of the frame and just popping my egg outline in just to make sure that it fits. I hadn't yet fully checked that. And now what I'm doing is I've grabbed the back of the insert, the actual insert of the frame, and I've traced that egg shape on there just so I know the central shape that I'm going to be working on. And I'm working now on cutting my pattern papers from the collection in 1-inch strips. So I've chosen, as I mentioned, some sort of brighter, more vibrant pattern papers, but also the ones that have that soft pastel-y sort of tone that reminds me so much of Easter. So I'm just cutting those strips of pattern paper, and most of them I've cut 2 strips just so that I can either use all of those strips or on one side, or use the reverse side as well. So with this particular pattern paper, I think I end up maybe with the floral cutting some more, or this one here, sorry, the blue paper. I cut 4 strips of that because I really like that multicolored reverse side. So now what I'm going to do is just firstly sort of cut and arrange the strips in a way that I think looks the most effective. So I wanted a good balance of pattern, I wanted a balance of the brighter colors, I wanted a balance of sort of the pinks or the yellow or that multicolored print. So I'm trying to arrange it so that there isn't too much of one color in one part. I end up forgoing that yellow. I just found like it was a bit too much, and then I've decided on that sort of painted pink and peach pattern paper that I'll use that piece to do the what do we call it, fringed edge. That's right. So as you can see, I'm just spacing out my fringe scissors and cutting that so that it has an even fringe all the way across, and then I've layered one of the pattern papers over that. Now, to get the effect of layering with the fringe pieces, you start from the bottom and layer up. So I've started with that bottom as I'm adhering now, and then I'm going to adhere with my sticky thumb adhesive runner the next layer, and so on until I get to the top. So what I'm trying to do is leave approximately sort of an even space between each of the layers, and I've either done that, apologies for my head there, I've either done that using certain prints on the pattern paper. So that pink spotty one that I'm adhering there now, I've adhered that so that you could see 3 rows of those dots. So I used that as my guide when I was adhering all of the pieces, and then I've machine stitched along the top, the pattern paper that's overlapping over that fringe. Now what I do when I machine stitch most of the time is I will pull the thread on the back up, and then you will get a loop of the thread from the other side, and if you
pull that through completely, you'll have no thread on the front side of your work. Then I have put a gazillion sticky dots, and they're from the American Craft Sticky Thumb adhesives. Put lots of those on and adhered the egg-shaped piece on top. And now I'm adhering the text saying Easter with some of the sticky dots as well, or foam dots. And now I'm popping it into the frame and making sure it's okay.
Okay, so I'm finished with the frame and I'm really happy with how it turned out. There was a bit of sort of manipulating and changing the order of the layers that I had, just so that I had a sort of distribution of colours. And I tied sort of 3 pieces of that spotty paper. I've put them at the top and the bottom and the middle I just thought that they were a nice design or print to put there. And then what you could see that I had done is just added the title. I have added the glass, and I don't know if I'll keep the glass in there to protect the piece or whether I will take it out as yet, but the glass is in there at the moment and it's still dimensional, and I think that's because of all the foam tape that I used. So although it was definitely overkill with the foam tape, it definitely made a difference to how it sits in the frame. So as you can see from that side view there, you can see that there is that depth there. So yeah, I'm really happy. Hope you've enjoyed this. Make sure to share on Instagram and tag Pink Paislee if you have a go of your own, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.